So I started a new hardcore Minecraft world. I built this starter house, and I even killed the Ender Dragon. But now what? Well, if I want to build anything cool or impressive, then it's time for every overpowered farm in hardcore Minecraft. Starting with our food source. To do that, we're going to need a gold farm, a ton of glass, a super smelter, and a lot of magma blocks. So let's just build a carrot farm instead. All we need is 3 villagers, some hoppers, and some minecarts. Let's get straight into it. Starting with the villager breeder. Alright, so now that we have that built, we'll have unlimited villagers for our future builds, namely the iron farm and the carrot farm that we're about to build, so let's go ahead and transport these guys over. This is so much easier now that you can lead boats, and I can literally just fly over. I mean, I remember doing this without the ability to lead boats and driving the boats across land and just... Anyways, here's the carrot farm. And there we go. I don't know why exactly I built it in this shape because it's a little bit sus, but that's okay. Unlimited carrots. Now that we're done with step 1, let's do step 2, the gold farm. For our gold farm, we're going to need some hoppers, some minecarts, some magma blocks, and a bunch of glass. So let's build an iron farm to take care of the first 2 steps. And now that we finished building that, I can actually show off a cool new feature. So you guys have all seen iron farms before, not super exciting how they work. They spawn the iron golem up top, drop him down, kill him, usually with lava, and then his goods go into the hopper. But with the addition of the new crafter, we can actually condense that iron ingot that he would drop into iron blocks. So if we look here, we can see that iron ingots go into this first chest, they get sucked out, and then turned into iron blocks and put in this chest. Next up on the list though, we're building a glass farm, which means we need a bunch of sand, which means I'm building a sand duper. Sometimes this is a little bit controversial, duping versus like farming. I don't really care, to be honest. I mean, nobody's doubting the ability that anybody has to mine a bunch of sand. It's just so much more time consuming and honestly not worth it at all. So I'm not going to be doing that. Sorry if that bothers you, but at the end of the day, it's really not that hard to mine sand, so I don't think anyone would care. I'm not going to dupe other stuff though. That being said, I'm just doing some cleanup, and I'm going to take this 6 stand and I'm going to leave it behind, because if I forget to turn the farm off and I load through the end portal, then it actually gets rid of the sand that's on top of the pistons, so I just don't want to have to fly back and forth in case I forget. And let's just skip forward a sec, little jump cut there. I think I skipped about 30 seconds, so here's the rate for about a minute of running the farm. As you can see, it's all just sitting here. I could set up a hopper collection system, but I didn't. Not sure why I didn't, but yeah, a minute got me about half a shulker to I think about a full shulker. So I think I got about 18 to 20. Nope, never mind. I was wrong. I got 24 stacks there. Not bad for a 1 minute. Now that that's out of the way though, unlimited sand. So it's time to build a super smelter so that we can turn all this into glass. I know I just said that I wasn't going to be duping other things. I guess I lied again. I'll show you guys in a second, but here's the super smelter. As you can see, it's sucking the blocks out pretty quickly. I've never really built a super smelter before, so this is pretty exciting. But if we run over here, we can see that I am duping again, and I'm using a carpet duper to fuel my super smelter. Again, I thought that this was pretty inconsequential because later in the video I'm building a wither skeleton farm. So I'm gonna have unlimited coal already, and I have bamboo back there, I have wood, I'm gonna build a wood farm, so fuel's just never gonna be an issue, and I didn't think anybody would care. But if you guys care, I can switch it, because it's again really not that hard to get fuel or anything. Now that that's out of the way though, let's get a magma block farm. To do this, I'm gonna build a Froglight Farm, which means I get these 3 blocks as well. I thought this would be a really good idea and a really good way to AFK magma blocks. But I didn't really think that far in advance. I was working on grad school applications during this time, so I had about 50 to 60 pages of personal statements to write. Yap. Anyways, I wanted to just AFK magma cream so I could craft magma blocks and I wouldn't have to go find 6,000 by hand. But the rates didn't end up being that good, so I'm still gonna go mine them by hand. Here's the footage of that. It really isn't too bad. I thought it was gonna be so much worse, and that's why I went out of my way to wrangle 12 different frogs of each different frog variety. I should have done this in the first place. I'm just gonna take a fire res potion and fly around at the lava height. So easy. I have never built the gold farm like this, so I've never mined mass amounts of magma blocks before. There's magma everywhere. If you guys ever want to build a gold farm, mine the magma by hand. This first patch is not a good example at all, but most patches are like 10 stacks worth, so bring a few shulker boxes, bring a few fire res potions, and grind it out. The whole length for magma block mining by hand was only like 30 minutes, and I was talking to my grandma the whole time. So easy. I'm never looking back if I have to do this again. And honestly, it's kind of satisfying. I mean, after doing a lot of the other stuff that I had to do for this video, insta-mining mass amounts of blocks was so nice, especially because the fire res potion made it so my feet weren't getting tickled the whole time. I mean, just look at this. Come on now. And the nice little sound that it makes. Honestly, no downsides at all. Except it's kind of scary when your fire res pot runs out and you're in the lava with your elytra on. That only happened like once or twice though, and I did almost die, and I did almost pop my totem in the lava and die again. So don't do that. Instead, build this gold farm. Alrighty, now that my left pinky is officially obliterated, let's go ahead and put the finishing touches on this farm. I went ahead and I got 4 zombie piglins trapped on these little floating blocks outside the farm, and they're going to maintain aggro for us, so let's just name tag them. Like, comment, subscribe, and ring bell. Now that they're name tagged, they're not going to despawn, so every time we come to the farm, they should automatically hold aggro, so we don't have to shoot any piglins when they come back. But yeah, I'm level 47 right now. Gonna turn off the little hitboxes and let's jump to the future. I'm level 200. I ran this farm for a little bit just to get some XP and to get some gold started. But yeah, you can see there's just so much XP that this farm produces. I just stand here and the piglins are already aggroed, but if not, I pull out my bow, take a shot at one of them, and then the other guys come flooding in. The reason I re-recorded this spot is because the audio is so loud for the other one, so I wanted to turn it down. Just because 24 minecarts in each of these little pillars, times 4 different pillars, times all the piglins dying, it's awful. But yeah, gold farm complete. I'll run the video for just a little bit longer so you can see exactly how quickly we're gaining XP, because at level 200, this is still really fast. The Enderman farm was taking probably at least a minute to get a level. But yeah, we're getting a 200th level in less than a minute, which is insane. But that being said, we officially have unlimited golden carrots. So now that food's taken care of, we can actually move on to our building blocks. The first building blocks are stone and cobblestone. This farm is actually really simple. It doesn't take too long to build at all, and it's automatic, but I do have to be manning the farm, so it's not completely remotely automatic. All I need to do is hold down left click, or I can do F3 and T to reload all my different resource packs or whatever it's called, and it'll hold down the key for me. But that being said, I did want to do a TNT duped version. I just didn't think I would need that much, so here's the non-TNT duper version. Might update it later. The only drawback is we need a beacon. So for a beacon, we're going to need to fight some wither skeletons, and to make a wither skeleton farm, we need 8,000 buttons. So it's on to a wood farm. In this wood farm, we're going to get 3 different types of wood: birch, oak, and spruce. So let's get into it. Now that we have this complete, we can check these chests. They're all completely empty. And we come over here, and this is where we're going to load up our bone meal. So I'll quickly make some bone meal. Not that we need any more, but just to show you guys. Flick this lever, and now the farm's running. So we come over here to this side, walk up these little steps, and then we can close that door behind us or leave it open. Doesn't really matter. This is where we're going to plant all of our saplings, and it's going to be automatically bone mealed. And then once it grows up, it gets pushed out and then destroyed by the TNT duper. If we close the door and stand right here in the water, all the saplings that are being crushed are going to fall down on top of us, and it puts them back in our hand. So it has like a regenerative resupplying sapling thing, which is pretty neat. Right there, I reloaded my resource packs like I had mentioned for the cobblestone farm, so that I can just completely AFK this and walk away, and it'll just keep going. Switch over to some spruce. It works exactly the same. Spruce takes a little bit more bone meal to produce, but I don't know. It's totally fine by me. I have enough bone meal, and I'm going to have even more in the future when I build my wither skeleton farm. That being said, let's go ahead and run this for just a little bit longer, and then I will put my saplings away. But yeah, we don't need to run this for too long. I just want to run it for maybe 30 seconds to a minute to see how much we can produce. I don't think a 10-second snapshot would really demonstrate it well. But we can put our excess saplings in here, and then some of them get thrown outside the farm, which is totally fine. We'll go ahead and turn it off. And here's where the TNT falls, bang, and then it comes around in the water, and there it is. So 1 minute produced about 4 stacks of logs, which is pretty cool. And now that we have the wood farm fully operational, we can go ahead and make the wither skeleton farm. Again, we needed all those buttons, but now we have them. So I went ahead and did that off camera. It's really not fun to watch me place all those buttons, but here's the wither skeleton farm. Alright, so now that that's done, you guys can see we are getting a ton of wither skeletons down here, which is neat. Let's go ahead and look at these chests. The rates are pretty good, not too bad, but unfortunately there is one problem. We're still getting zombie piglins and blazes spawning. So we're going to remedy that by getting a bunch of wither roses and optimizing this farm a little bit more. To do that though, we're going to have to fight the wither. Fortunately, the wither is pretty easy to cheese. You just do him right here underneath the bedrock in the end. For some reason I had to break and replace this, but yeah, there he is. He should be trapped in there, and we should just be able to spawn a bunch of snow golems or chickens, whatever you really want, and he'll explode them and give you a bunch of wither roses. So let's just make sure we don't die to him. Alright, that was not supposed to happen, but I guess we're fighting the wither now. So let me pop up here and we'll run the montage music. So that was my first wither fight, and believe it or not, I actually had to fight him about 4 times because for whatever reason I just could not get him to stay stuck in the bedrock. I swear my placement was fine. I had him at 0, 0. I tried 2 blocks below, 1 block below, tried a whole bunch of things, but this is what actually ended up working for me. I don't even remember what I changed, but I changed it so many times. This took me like 2 or 3 hours of remedying for absolutely no reason. But as we can see, he is officially, I think that Enderman just went through the portal, but he's officially stuck underneath the end portal, and he is murdering our snowmen for us, so that means we have an infinite supply of wither roses now, and we can finally go ahead and fix our wither skeleton farm. I decided not to include wither roses as a farm on this video because it's not necessarily overpowered and it's definitely not automatic, but if you guys want to know how it works, basically come down here, make a bunch of snow blocks when they die, and then I go back to where I was at first and I just place them. It automatically puts a pumpkin and shears it off of them, so the pumpkins are renewable. But now that we have all that done, here's the new wither skeleton rates. There's no more zombie piglins and there's no more blazes, so it's so much better. This is this is great. With that done, we officially have unlimited stone and cobblestone, so now let's focus on rockets. All we're going to need is gunpowder, which we already made, and a paper farm, which means we're farming up sugarcane. I think everybody knows how to build sugarcane, so here it is. Ta-da! Now that that's done, let's move on to another easy farm. We're going to do wool. I'm actually going to do all colors, not that that's hard to do, I just have to do the same thing 16 times and then dye them. So yeah, here's the clip of that. Easy baby mode farms out of the way, it's witch time. This will give us a bunch of gunpowder, and it'll also give a bunch of redstone. Especially because they just buffed the drop rates for redstone from witches, so I don't have to build a super overkill turbo mega farm. I can actually just build this nice simple one, which is great because this is 3,000 blocks away from my house, and honestly, probably not going to be returning here much, especially because the mine that I built in episode 2 of my hardcore Minecraft series got us like 35 million blocks of redstone, so I don't see us really needing this, but if we ever do, we have it. Last but certainly not least, I want unlimited shulker boxes, which unfortunately means we're gonna have to farm these guys. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to do this, it's not the most amusing thing, so I'll spare you all the gruesome details and all the frustrating wrestles with these shulkers and the rail system and boats, and yeah, just enjoy the music, and I'll catch you guys in the outro. That's everything. All the overpowered farms in Minecraft that I can think of, said and done. But unfortunately, it's all really ugly, and it kind of messed up my whole aesthetic that I was going for. So I'm gonna need to decorate all these, and I've been thinking about maybe starting streaming. So if you guys want me to stream it, let me know and I'll stream it. Otherwise, let me know if you want me to do it off camera, I'll do it off camera, or let me know if you guys want me to make an episode out of it. That being said, hope you enjoyed.